Welcome, friends. Great to be together. We'll wait a few moments before we begin. Hmm. Hi, I see your hearts. Hi, Angela. Long time no see. How's our connection, my friends? Coming through clearly? Hi, Helly. Yeah, good. Hi, ET. Hi, Neil. Good morning. Hi, Lamira. Hi, Camille. Hi, Antonio. I get to see some of you very soon in Bali. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Pauline. Oh, so happy to see you all. Welcome. Yeah, me too, Antonio. Okay. Well, warm welcome, everyone. Let's adjust this a little bit. Isn't this a beautiful baby over here? Just you can smell it. It's lovely. Mm. Warm welcome. My name is Selena, and this is our weekly session that we have on the free Insight Timer app. If you're watching someplace other than Insight Timer, I warmly welcome you to join us here. It's a free app, as I mentioned, and such a beautiful community to be part of. If you're newer to our time together, I have a lot of content here on Insight Timer. As Insight Timer is about to launch videos, many videos coming your way. I also have a couple of courses and I lead retreats among other offerings. So if you're curious about being together in person, taking a week for yourself with like minded souls, and having a moment for slowing down, not a moment, a whole week to slow down, to turn inward, to be with beautiful people, make new friends, be fed incredible farm to table food, and explore the inner world, then I warmly invite you to join us for one of the live retreats that I lead, in person retreats. Yes, Subby, they're coming. They haven't officially been released yet, but the videos are coming. Hi, Bob. Wonderful to see everyone. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's move into an experience together. Again, welcome to those just joining us. I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. Maybe you'd like to sit tall so the spine lengthens up toward the sky. Let's roll one shoulder up, back, and down, and the other shoulder up, back, and down. Today, let's begin with some butterfly tapping, this wonderful way to help to regulate the nervous system. If you can't move your body, you can visualize this in your mind. We'll cross the arms over the chest so the hands come to opposite shoulders, and we'll just tap one side at a time. Tapping so that we're making contact. This is activating the hemispheres of the brain and also helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest part of the nervous system, helping us to feel more calm, to slow down, to feel more present. As you tap, I invite you to deepen the breath and allow the exhalations to be a little longer than the inhalations. Slow, deep breaths. Shoulders are relaxed down, the arms are relaxed. So we're releasing any sense of tension or holding in the upper body. Great. And now we'll do another technique activating similar responses in the body that I really enjoy. We'll take the hands and brush down to the elbows, lift the hands up, back to the shoulders, and brush down to the elbows again. So we're creating this caressing, this soothing movement down the arms. We lift the hands back up to begin again. And again, here, you can allow the breath to be slow and deep. Body is relaxed. You might even have a sense or an intention of slowing down. Maybe you start to feel the body slowing down, the thoughts, maybe they start to slow down as well. Just a couple more movements like this. And then we'll relax the arms down. You may wish to have the hands on either thigh or resting in the lap, maybe with the palms facing upward. This time, let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down together a few times. Relax them down. Let's sit tall. Allow a slight part between the teeth, maybe the lips as well as we soften the jaw. You may even feel this sense of opening or softening in the throat. If it's comfortable, I invite you to close the eyes as you continue to breathe slowly and deeply. For now, let us rest the attention on the sensations of the breath. So become aware of the sensations, the experience of the breath moving in through the nostrils, or if you can't breathe in through the nose, and through the mouth. And then become aware of the sensations as you breathe out. Rather than allowing the mind to pull you to thoughts of earlier in the day or something to come, or your judgments or opinions about something, or replaying something in the mind, making lists, rather than allowing the mind, like this beautiful stampede of wild horses, to pull us in all of the directions. Let us continue to come back to sensing the breath as it flows in and out of the body. And each time one of these thoughts comes, drawing our attention elsewhere, we simply practice releasing that thought as we return to sensing the breath, the body. Slow, deep breaths in, long, slow breaths out. If you found yourself becoming lost in thought, it's okay. Gently return to sensing the body breathing. I'll be here for a few more minutes. Body is relaxed as our attention continues to rest on sensing the breath. Sense whatever is making contact with the body, the floor, the chair, the couch, the bed, wherever you are. Sense your body in space. Let's take a deep breath in together. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale deeply. Exhale, sigh. One more time like this. Slowly begin to move fingers, toes. Can you really sense the movement as if you're feeling your body for the first time? Maybe you wish to roll the shoulders, the head. Maybe you wish to move the spine. Just gently move the body in any way that feels nourishing. When you feel ready to, slowly open the eyes, aware of whatever newness you may have created inside of you during this experience. Thank you. I invite you to share in the chat 2 words that describe your inner world right now. What 2 words describe your state in this moment? Remembering there's no right or wrong way to have an experience. What 2 words capture where you are? And then, if you wish, share in the chat. Hmm. The mirror shares tired but calm. Oh, what a lovely name. Janchi? Janchi, did I say that? Safe haven. Bob, calm, energized. Ellie, peace and clarity. Hmm. Tracy, newness, curiosity. Pauline, tired and sad. Hmm. Hmm. Thank you all for sharing. Please feel free to continue to share in the chat. Yana shares self gentleness and inner peace. Camille, awareness, noticing thought. Great. E.T., hopeful and heartbroken. Vasudha, curious and accepting of the inner paradoxes and jaw tightness. That was more than 2, but I accept. Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Antonio, soothed and ready. Kelly, sore and tired. Thank you all. Thank you. Hmm. My two words are it's hard. I know it's hard. It's hard to choose two sometimes. Uh, Volcano. Uh, Grateful. Angela, calm, concerned. Kim, some tiredness. Thank you. Thank you. And great tenderness to those of you who are feeling tenderness today, sad, heartbroken, upset. So much love to you, so much love to each of us. Mm. I read a comment or a review on a meditation I have here on the Insight Timer app today. And someone appreciated the content of the meditation, but they didn't appreciate the tone and presence that I brought to the experience, especially that at the end of the meditation I had said all my love. And um, shared that it felt insincere to them. And I completely understand that that's the way it does feel for some. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to myself for having the courage to be the loving little girl that I've been my whole life, even in the face of rejection. I'm grateful to my beloved parents, who, by the way, you'll get to see here next week. I'll share more about that in a moment. Grateful to my beloved Guru Sai Ma. I'm so grateful. And I'm also so grateful to you because of all of those who I just mentioned and each of you. I get to be my loving self. And those who wish to be with me in my authentic self, we get to be together. So thank you. Thank you for being with me in this path of love, this path of tenderness, this path of remembrance. Mm. Brooke, they're not dumb. I would offer, if first of all, the cool thing about this human game is that it's so different. And I mean, of course, we have many similarities and we're different. So it means that we get to find the people who are our cup of tea. We get to find the people who we resonate with, right? Oh my gosh, how boring would it be if we were all exactly the same? So some of us just aren't each other's cup of tea, and that's totally okay. That's great. It's part of the diversity of this world. Um, so just to acknowledge that, like, we don't not everyone needs to like us, not everyone will like us, and vice versa. And that's okay. It's totally okay. And, for some, we have past experiences where loving feels really activating. Intimacy from a stranger, because for me to say all my love can feel very intimate. And that can feel very activating and unsafe for some. So there's so many reasons why that can be, yeah? And we can practice compassion if we wish. And also just acceptance that even though it's one of the hardest pills as a human being to swallow, meaning one of the hardest things to accept, not everyone likes us, and that's okay. Not everyone agrees with us, and that's okay. Not everyone has the same style as us, and that's okay. Yeah. But I feel you and I appreciate you having my back. Bob shared, I think you are sincere. Thank you, my dear. Lamira shares, I feel you are so genuinely loving. I don't know you personally, but I sense your love and compassion. It radiates. Beautiful. And we will get to see each other in person. So looking forward to it. Kelly shares, how come someone is so ungrateful? Oh, again, though, I just kind of spoke to that, right? It's not ungrateful. I mean, it could be viewed that way. I like to step out, and thank goodness for all the years of training that I have and this compassionate heart that is inherent to each of us that I've continued to cultivate. Yes. So my beloved parents, who many of you know, they're both teachers here on the app, Sandy Magrum and Jonas Magrum. They both lead lives weekly. Sandy's live is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. They will both be my guests next week on our Return to Love. So next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so the same time and place we meet regularly, they will be here as our guests. So you'll get a family dose next week, which will be very, very sweet to have. Okay, I'm coming back to your comments. Oh, by the way, how did you enjoy our session with Jivan Das? For those of you who were here or caught the replay, how did you enjoy that? Tracy shares, I love you and each of you. Thank you for your courage to do so and your authenticity. Thank you, my love. And for anyone who doesn't know Tracy, Tracy McCree, amazing teacher here on Insight Timer, so full of love and compassion. I see the face you're making right now, Tracy, and just such a gem of being and teacher. Okay, let's come back, come back. Camilla shared, you sharing your love allowed me to create space that it's okay to be loving. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. And you're such a love bug too. And I know you're just gifting people like wherever you go, whether it's the grocery store or church or wherever you are. And it's who you were, like when I met you, by the way. So it's not like much change. It's beautiful to know, though, that you feel even more permission to be that free with your love, my love. That's beautiful. Yes, Kelly, can't please everyone, and that's okay. My goodness. Now, many of us try to please everyone and make ourselves miserable, but that is a topic for another day. We can be compassionate with our tendencies for people pleasing, knowing that they're rooted in self preservation and desire to feel accepted, to feel loved, to feel safe. ET shares, that's one of my fears of putting myself out there. Seeing how you handle this is inspiring. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, love, share your light, share your gifts. And there's definitely I'm a pretty sensitive little being over here. Thank goodness all of my years of training have trained me to have stronger subtle bodies, stronger emotional bodies, less reaction, less relating to the humanness so that I constantly feel super activated by people's thoughts or opinions or judgments. Um, but it's just part of it. It's part of it. We know that's part of it. And we see it. It's rampant. You go anywhere online, and if there's a comment section, even if the person is genuine or loving or kind or doing something great in the world, there will be some pretty awful comments usually. So and it's really a reflection of where each person is at. It doesn't mean that we don't take accountability or responsibility for our own actions, behaviors, words, and so on. We absolutely impact people. And what's happening in someone is what's happening in them, right? I look forward to seeing what you're going to share and where you're going to share. Feel free to let us know when it's the time. Bob shares, I pray that we can all focus on our supportive people and let go of those unsupportive ones. Thank you, Bob. Pauline shares, these sessions mean so much to me. To me, this space is sacred and filled with so much love and presence I rarely experience elsewhere. Oh, that's so beautiful. We really are just so blessed here, so fortunate. We've created such a loving space in our Insight Timer community family. Even if you're here for the first time today, you're part of it. You are part of this here with us. So thank you. And thanks for saying that, Pauline. Thank you for being part of it. You always show up so vulnerably and kind and loving, no matter where you're at in your own experience. And it's a gift. Gift to be with you, gift to be with each of you. Heather shares, I often experience the reaction you're describing when I express my love for people I don't know. Hard for some to believe. Absolutely. Absolutely. And our job, I would say, and as always, I'm not here to say that you need to agree with me. You need to believe anything I say. We don't need to believe the same things. We can just be here together in whatever differences we have. And I would say it's not even our job for people to believe us. Each of us are an embodiment of love. If you feel to express that love that you are beautiful, can you express it without needing to be received? And this is for all of us, even with those who we love the most. Can we love without needing to be received? Can we love without needing to be accepted? Can we love without needing someone to show us that they know we're loving and therefore we become lovable, right? That whole dynamic. Yeah. Lamira shares, I'm looking forward to it too. Lamira is coming to Costa Rica. So, again, I lead retreats for those of you who don't know. And we have one in Bali coming up in just a couple of weeks. So wild, so soon. And then the next one I have on the books is in Costa Rica next February. So that's what Lamira is referring to. And then she says, not to be creepy, but your aura and presence draw me in. Beautiful. It's not creepy, it's the nature of light. I'm no different than you. For anyone who, I mean, we're all mirrors for each other, period. And I know many of you come here because you actually feel something. You feel a presence coming through your screen. You feel a warmth or kindness or even a sense of love, like this sweetness that comes through your screen when we're together. That presence of love that you experience in me, it is you. I am your reflection. So when we're drawn to each other like this, it's like that light in us that says, I remember, right, Tracy? I remember. And when I see you, something in me remembers even more. It wants to remember even more. When I feel that love, this is my experience with Saima, Shirley, my beloved teacher of 25 years. Being around Ma's presence, even not even around Ma physically, but especially around Ma physically, it's like being in an ocean of love. It's palpable. Something feels different. The heart is touched. Those layers and guards and iron walls around the heart start to fall away involuntarily. And that love is what draws us back. That love right here, the love that we are, reminds us, calls us back to remember who we are. Pauline shared, oh my gosh, Jivan Das was so cool. I had so much fun hearing from both of you sharing your experiences. Awesome. Awesome. Great, great, great. And Antonia, maybe you're amazing with heart eyes was also in reference to that. Kim shared, I like the session. Great, everyone. Great. Tracy shared, love Jivan. What a blessing it was to be with you both. You two could do a podcast. Such a beautiful flow. Yeah, it's my brother. He's so full of wisdom. Bob shares, I enjoyed your track on we are not our thoughts and feelings and are just open awareness. Awesome, love. It's such a liberation to consider that we are not these things that we feel bind us, but we are the presence, the eternal presence of life itself, having an experience. Michelle asks, do you have any plans to do a retreat in Hawaii? Not at the moment, Michelle. We had a retreat in Hawaii this year in January. We'll see though. We'll see. I don't have my retreat schedule filled out yet. Absolutely in the future, yes, just no plans as of now. Brooke shared, it takes a lot of energy to be angry. Love is so much easier. Oh, it's so true. And and anger has its place, right? Anger has its place. Sometimes anger is the fire we need to move through something. Sometimes anger is this energy that's burning away things that no longer serve. It has its place. Sometimes it can turn toxic, of course, and it's a very powerful emotion. Bob shared one approval from ourselves is worth countless from the outer environment. Oh, absolutely. I mean, how many of us know this? Somebody compliments you. They tell you you're attractive or that they like something about you. And it's like it doesn't even land anywhere. You're like, oh, thanks, thanks. And not even because you're trying to be modest. It's like you just can't fully take it in sometimes. I think many of us can relate to that. And I would say there's a lot to why that is the case. But if we kind of looked at it simplistically, if we were fully accepting of ourselves, if we were fully honoring of our beauty or attractiveness, our worth, or whatever it is, then someone would compliment us or offer us some an acknowledgement like this, and it would just ah, fill us. But because we're not being that way with ourselves, it can feel very difficult to be that way with others. Yes. So it's this beautiful awareness that when we give ourselves that acknowledgement, that compliment, that kindness, it opens us to a whole new life experience. And that's one of the many gifts that the course I have here on the Insight Timer app, Awaken My Heart, a guide to living with self-love, um, gives us. It's really a fabulous little roadmap for those who are very well practiced in self-love and self-compassion, and even those who are completely new to it. It's just full of these beautiful reminders to create that loving relationship within ourselves. Mm. Oh, Lamira. Yeah, darling. You are that light. Mm, yeah, Tracy will be in Costa Rica too, and Antonia. Beautiful. Yeah, Camille says Florida before Hawaii. Yes, Millie, I promise. I've got to get some stateside retreats on the books. Yes, a Florida one would be easy, easier. M shares loving energy is not finite. The permission itself, eternal. So there was something I felt compelled for us to dive into today. We still have a little bit of time. So I'd like to touch on this subject. I feel it just feels important to share with all of us right now. So many of you are familiar with the uh, construct, the teaching, the concept, however you relate to it, of ego. And when I speak about ego, I'm not speaking to what we might think of as someone who's egotistical. We're speaking about ego as a facet of our human experience. I'll just give a little side note here. As the great saying goes, the more I learn, the less I know. And I find that to absolutely be true. And when speaking about such topics as ego or more profound ancient teachings, esoteric teachings, the conscious mind can only speak to what it understands. And many of these teachings, we will not understand them until they are more embodied, meaning many of us will just repeat something we've heard or that we've learned rather than being able to speak on it as what it truly is. What I find in this topic is that many of these profound teachings we only understand at the level of which our consciousness is. Meaning, I've heard Saima give some of the exact same teachings for 25 years, literally the exact same teachings. And sometimes after hearing a teaching for 15, 20 years, I'll have like an aha moment. Not because I finally get the teaching because Ma's said it enough, but because my consciousness has elevated to such a degree that I'm able to hear the profundity of what the teaching actually means. So I'm sharing this before we speak on the topic of ego because in the state of consciousness that I'm in, I'm only aware of what ego really is to the degree of my consciousness. And I imagine that as my consciousness continues to expand and become liberated, the teachings on ego might even shift in how I understand them. So I will share this through my limited perception. You can take what resonates, leave the rest. Or maybe you have other teachings on ego that you're familiar with that will support you in understanding this how you do. Mm. Thanks, Tracy. Yes, Bob. My beloved teacher's name is Saima, also Tracy's teacher. Her Holiness Saima, Saima. So imagine, you're welcome, darling. Imagine that you are eternal, you are infinite. You're not a body, you're not a mind, you're not emotions. Imagine infinite space that goes on and on and on through all of creation. And it's an empty space too. It's just infinite, eternal presence. Infinite. And then, for the sake of playing here, imagine that is you, what we might call source consciousness. Imagine that is you, this infinite, eternal, empty yet full space. And then from this infinity, this eternality, there is a consciousness arises that says, I'd like to have an experience of myself. And so, in this everything, nothing eternity, something arises. In the teachings on Source, this is where the bindu arises, this point in creation. But without going into all of that, let's just look at it from a little further out. You are this eternal nature that is one with everything. And everything, some of you might relate this to teachings on God from whatever religion you may study or be part of, that everything is part of God. Some religions teach that everything is a reflection of God, things like this. But imagine that everything you can see came from this fullness of nothingness that is you. This eternal, infinite space is where everything that you can see came from. Your phone, your computer, your body, the plants, the person next to you, the food in your cupboard, the water that's in your faucet, everything that you can see is all part of this one thing. It's all the exact same thing. Just imagine everything even though all of these things feel separate, imagine they're actually all the exact same substance. Now imagine you as this eternal space that's come back to the beginning. You are everything. Before there was anything, you are it all. To be able to have an experience of this separation, this perceived separation, you have to have an identity. You get to have an identity. To experience myself as the one holding the glass, I need to think I'm separate from the glass. Because otherwise, I'm just going to feel like I'm holding myself. There's no difference here, there's no separation. So, to have the experience of separation, which gives this whole dream world all that it is, I need to feel like I'm something. I need to feel individuated. I need to have an experience of being separate from all of this that is actually me. So, this is where the construct of ego I'll say is birthed, although birthed isn't really the right word. Maybe. I don't know. So ego is a construct that lets me feel separate. It is the place where my identity comes from. And I don't just mean my identity like I'm a nice person, I'm a loving person. I mean, Selena itself is the ego construct. Imagine that the ego is a mask. If I was to remove the mask, there would no longer be Selena. There would only be eternality. So the mask of Selena gives me the opportunity to experience passion and jealousy and fear and excitement and joy and sadness and anger, all because I get to play Selena. I get to have the identity of Selena, and this is ego consciousness. Ego allows us to feel separate from each other. But the same light in me is within you. That same vast eternity of everything and nothing all at once is what I am made of and is what you are made of. And for the sake of experience, we forget. So that I can play Selena and you can play Tracy, Lamira, Camille, M, Bob. Yes, all of us, Neil. So, because this construct of ego is here to keep us feeling separate, it's really good at creating separation. I'm right, you're wrong. Doesn't that create separation? Think about it. If you feel like you're right and someone's wrong, or you're wrong and someone's right, don't you feel a separation? Or if I blame somebody, isn't that creating separation? If I judge somebody, you're bad, I'm good, I'm bad, you're good, isn't that creating separation? It's so good. The ego is so good at helping us perceive this experience through the eyes of separation so we can continue to have that experience of the identity. So Ma, I don't know if I've heard Ma say this in some time, but I remember for some time in the beginning years, Saima would say, I would hear Ma say that the ego is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. A wolf in sheep's clothing, meaning it's like a trick. It's tricky, not necessarily a trickster, because that gives like a mischievous energy, but it's sneaky. It's a sneaky construct because it will continue to keep you in separation. Maybe we could consider that sometimes, and of course, there are many layers to this the more you get closer to the humanness, understanding personality types, understanding psychology, understanding trauma. It gets more nuanced if you want to look at it through the human lens, but we're kind of taking it out to this bigger lens of eternal consciousness, source consciousness, and the construct of ego. But, sometimes, for example, you'll get really expanded about something. You'll be really happy or really grateful or really excited about something. And you just feel liberated for a moment. And then these thoughts start to come in that contract you. Oh, but what if this goes wrong? And what about that thing? And what about that thing not working out? And this could be bad. And you get contracted again, creating that separation again. So the ego will continue to feed the illusion of separation. And we experience this primarily through our thoughts. So you can ask yourself when you're thinking a thought. I remember my mom, my beloved mama, Sandy, who some of you already know and who some will get to meet next week if you're here. When I'd be having a thought, maybe I was upset about something or judging something or having a hard time. And my mom would say, Selena, or one of my 10 nicknames, Bina, Booney, Boona, all the things. She would say, "Who is thinking that thought?" And I'd be so upset. I wouldn't want to say it's the ego thinking the thought because I'd want to hold on to that upsettedness. I'd want to hold on to the separation. Ego wants to keep me in contraction. Doesn't want to liberate me in that moment. I get so annoyed. Who is thinking that thought? Oh, it's the ego, but I don't feel that way. So we can ask ourselves, who is thinking this thought? Who is thinking this thought? If ego, if the construct that keeps us in personality and identity and separateness is keeping us in this limited space, this contracted experience, then what do you think our eternal nature might open up for us? If you are infinite, do you think how do you think your mind would be when you're embodying the light you are fully, consciously? How do you think your thoughts are when you're embodying soul, if you believe in soul? How do you think your thoughts are when you are fully embodying the love, the being of love that you are? Not emotional love, not attachment, but the being of love you are. How do you think your thoughts are? I'd love to actually hear from you. How do you think your thoughts are when you are embodying, consciously embodying the light that you are? You are always the light that you are. We just may not be conscious of it. What are the quality of your thoughts when you are embodying your eternal nature consciously? Lamira shares thoughts are so much more clear and calm. JG shares you will feel whole and complete. Camille, open and loving to it all. Pauline, my thoughts would be very kind, loving, forgiving, joyful. Lindsay, compassion and accepting. Heidi, spacious, loving, creative. Yeah, beautiful friends. Thank you. So, and by the way, I wouldn't say either are good or bad. Like the loving, positive, kind thoughts aren't good, and the other thoughts are bad. This is just more separation, isn't it? More separation. To get caught in the, oh, these are the positive thoughts, the good thoughts, I feel better. And these are the bad thoughts, I can't think those. It's creating more separation. So if we are embodying the presence that we are, the mind is naturally more expanded, more loving, more free in all of its ways of being. So if we find ourselves getting caught in judgment, who is thinking that thought? If you find your mind caught in blaming someone, they're wrong, they're bad, they need to be punished, they did a bad thing, they need to grovel and ask for my forgiveness. Who is thinking that thought? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. No one will ever love me. Who is thinking that thought? Now, I'd like to come back because the reason I think I got the download to speak on this today is because of the sneaking nature of ego. You see, many of us have these thoughts and we think it's just who we are. We relate to the thoughts as the reality of life when they are not. We relate to these contracted thoughts as this is the way that it is. This is the truth. But what if it's not? What if it's the sneaky construct of ego keeping you in separation? So that, well, look at that. I even did it in time. That's amazing. I feel like time slowed down a little bit for us during that teaching. So we still have 5 minutes. Anything, anyone wishes to share anything, or you have any comments or questions, we might have time for one question before we complete. Oh, yeah, exactly. Camille shares, my ego loves drama sometimes. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ego loves drama. Absolutely. And it's not bad. It's just awareness. Awareness. It makes me think of Eckhart Tolle's teaching on the pain body. If you're not familiar with this teaching, I kind of imagine it's like he speaks how each of us have a pain body, and even different parts of the world and countries and collective groups have pain bodies that are shared. But imagine like you have this little like monster, this cute little fuzzy monster that feeds off of pain. Every one of us has these. And so when we get into an argument or there's some kind of like drama between people, it's like the pain body in that person is like getting fed, and my pain body is getting fed through that conflict, right? So it's kind of like the same way the ego is like being fed in those kind of experiences. Yeah, Camilla says, my ego loves drama sometimes, and then I cry, and then I feel better. Yeah, and that's just part of the humanness. Ain't nothing wrong with that. To feel it all, right? To feel it all. Hi, Anami. Oh, great to see you, darling. Lovely, lovely to be together. Long time, my love. Feels long time. Uh, Tracy shares why there is so much drama on our TV. Our ego loves it. Yeah, yeah. Why there is so much drama on the TV, our ego loves it. Yeah, and it's also just part of the human experience, and there's nothing wrong with it, you know? Nothing wrong with it. Bob shares, if we completely dropped our ego, we wouldn't get angry at anybody or anything. Now, here's the thing. I'm really glad you shared that, Bob, because again, I'm not saying anything is right, and what we're speaking about is so beyond the human intellect. I can't even claim that any of it is anything. Some traditions speak about annihilating ego, getting rid of the ego so you can just be the love peace being that you are. But remember, this ego is the construct that allows us to experience this human life. The ego is the functioning that goes along with this body that lets us have an experience here. So it's not about annihilating the ego in the teachings that I come from. It's not about getting rid of the ego. We enlighten the ego. We pour light into the ego. We pour so much love into the ego that the ego becomes an embodiment of the light that we are. And we still get to function. From what I've heard from different enlightened masters, beings that are truly enlightened, meaning they know themselves as that eternal, infinite nothing space and everything that is in this creation, they still have emotions because they're in the human experience. They still have the human body. They still have this experience as human. So there's still emotion there. I've seen enlightened masters get very angry before. Now, I've also heard that they do it as a play to rattle something inside of us so we get shocked. So, enlighten the ego, to pour light into the ego. Yes. And I'll share one final thing as we come to a close because I see Brooke's comment ego keeps us safe sometimes. Absolutely, because there's a fear response in ego. However, I would invite that we don't need to be in fear to be safe. Now, our physical bodies will, fortunately, they'll always have this natural, I don't know about always, but they have the natural biology of fight or flight, freeze, and so on, so that we sense danger and we respond to danger, right? Because we're still living in, even though it's a dream world, we're still living here where we could get hit by a car, an animal could come at us, or whatever it could be, right? So we still have these danger responses, these threat responses in our nervous systems, which help keep us alive. But imagine that we don't need ego's fear to stay safe. Imagine instead of living in fear, you could live in awareness. Feel the difference there. Rather than living in fear to keep myself safe, I live in awareness. I am discerning. I am aware of my outer world and my inner world. So I take steps, actions, behaviors to be safe. Yes. Oh, thank you, Camille. Thank you for your generous donation. Thank you. So we will come to a close now. Ah, thank you. Thank you for your presence, your time, your love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in this path with me and being here in our oneness, forgetting that we're one so we can have the play of experience. I love you and your uniqueness and your individuation in our togetherness. Mm. And I honor you and your human experience and all that it entails, the human experience, not all of it. You are so loved beyond measure and beyond anything our human minds can comprehend. You are loved eternally. And I love you and adore you and adore our time together. Again, I welcome you to join us next week as we'll have the special guests, my beloved folks, joining us. And yes, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be together soon. If you have any questions about the retreats I'm leading, you can send me a message. Mm, I think that's it. Thank you. I love you. And I'll see you very soon. Carrying you with me in my heart. Hi, dearest. Thanks for being here on YouTube. So on you, this is a session that's live streamed each week on the free Insight Timer app. So I can't see any of your comments here on YouTube. I invite you to come over to YouTube. Come over to the Insight Timer app. Again, it's free to download it. Come over there so that we can see your comments, because otherwise we can't see any of your comments. Thank you for being here. All my love.